AEW Double or Nothing 2026 was insane.
JRW live. Hit the aisle, stack the card, chase that rare one, play it smart. Bobby Joe right by his side. JRW live ride. JRW live, let's go. Toy hunting shows on the road. Figure reviews, bold predictions too. WW week breaking it through.
What's up, JW TV? This setup review of AEW Double or Nothing 2026. So this is one of the first times we've done a setup review of an AEW pay-per-view, but this show was insane. They kicked out the show with Edge and Christian, or Adam Copeland and Christian, taking on FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships in an I Quit match. And they absolutely tore the house down. Personally, my favorite match of the night. This match was like, what a way to kick off the show. Absolutely insane. They killed each other using cinder blocks, everything you can think of. Stokely went through a flaming table. It was meant for Christian, but Stokely ended up getting knocked in the way. He went through the flaming table. It was absolutely insane. And Christian would not give up. Edge, or Adam Copeland, I call him both things, would not give up. FTR would not give up. But they finally had Dax in the middle of the ring. Christian had him in a figure four leg lock. And then Edge started getting like the SDF as well. He wasn't quitting. Even Beth Phoenix came out for the save to take out Stokely. It was absolutely insane. She couldn't even get them to quit. And finally, Beth Phoenix went and grabbed Spike. And Edge grabs Spike, puts it on the face of Dax while they have him the SDF and the figure four leg lock. And he finally quits because the nails are digging into his face. And then Adam Copeland and Christian Cage are the new AEW Tag Team Champions. They finally hold gold as a tag team again, first time in like forever. It's absolutely insane. So cool to see, because if they would have lost, they would have had to quit as a tag team. They ain't quitting yet. They are just starting their run in AEW as a tag team, because they're now the AEW Tag Team Champions. What a way to kick off Double or Nothing. Then Takeshita and Okada put on an absolute banger for the AEW International Championship. Don Callis, who represents both of them, was on commentary with Taz and Excalibur, and he kept on talking about how he's a neutral, he's representing both of them and everything. And Okada and Takeshita put on an absolute banger of a match. They fought already before on the Continental Classic tournament at World's End. I was there. It was an awesome match. But then Okada cheated because he used that screwdriver that was planted by Kyle Fletcher. But this time it was a fair one-on-one match. And at the end of the day, Takeshita picks up the victory and wins the International Championship. He finally defeats Okada. He shows he's better than Okada, because like the whole time it's been like Takeshita needs to prove that he's better than Okada and he's worthy and everything. Well, he finally does it, defeats Okada, wins the International Championship. And then Don Callis goes in the ring. And then the rest of the Don Callis family's in the ring, and they're all beefing and everything. They're all pissed off, and it looks like they're about to kick Takeshita out when Kyle Fletcher's music hits. We haven't seen Kyle Fletcher in forever, since he vacated the TNT Championship because he tore his meniscus and needed surgery. Huge pop. He returns. He's in a suit. He comes down to the ring, takes his suit jacket off, and looks like he's ready to go down, throw down with the Don Callis family. He's saving his buddy Takeshita. The Don Callis family get the hell out of there. They don't want anything to do with it. They don't want more beef. And Kyle Fletcher hugs Takeshita. They have a fun moment, holding up each other's arms. Crowd's going crazy. And then out of nowhere, Kyle Fletcher clotheslines Takeshita and turns on him. So Kyle Fletcher is still with the Don Callis family, still a bad guy. And it looks like Takeshita's completely been kicked out of the Don Callis family. He's on his own. And Kyle Fletcher looks like $1 million. Looks like an absolute perfect heel. Huge star. And his back looks like he's completely good. And it's absolutely awesome. Then it was the first match for the women's part of the Owen Hart tournament. At the beginning of the show, they talked about it. And then obviously they continued to have package videos about the Owen Hart tournament. And it was Mina versus Athena. Athena had the women's ROH championship they talked about for over 1,200 days. I'm like, holy. This match was all right. I don't have a figure of him, so I'm just kind of talking about it right now. Athena picked up the victory, so she's moving on to the Owen Hart women's Owen Hart tournament. Defeats Mina. It was an okay match, but Athena wins. Then Jon Moxley put the Continental Classic Championship on the line against Kyle O'Reilly. And this match, they beat the holy hell out of each other. John Moxley ends up retaining his championship. It was a good match. Wasn't my favorite match of the night. He ended up making him tap out. He got him in the figure four leg lock, makes him tap out. It was a decent match. I'm like, it was definitely entertaining, great match for like physicality and everything. Just a little slow in my opinion. But John Moxley picks up the victory, defeats Kyle O'Reilly. At the end of the match, they kind of show a little neutral respect. They look at each other, little nod. They got both. They got the Blackpool Combat Club or Death Riders now with John Moxley, and then you got Kyle O'Reilly's group of everybody coming down to the ring, and they all kind of face off. But John Moxley gives him a little nod, kind of like a little respect. But yeah, John Moxley defeats Kyle O'Reilly and retains his championship. Then Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe went one-on-one and absolutely killed each other in the men's Owen Hart tournament. And man, these guys went out there, had a great match. I was very excited for this match. Will Ospreay still recovering from that neck injury, still doesn't look like his complete self, but man, he still did a great job out there. Samoa Joe always looking great, and they absolutely killed each other. Very physical match. But at the end of the day, Will Ospreay hits that hidden blade on Samoa Joe twice, picks up the victory, moving on in the Owen Hart tournament, because whoever wins the Owen Hart tournament, I believe, gets a shot at the AEW championship at All In, and I've got a good feeling that what's his face, Will Ospreay's gonna win this whole thing and go on to All In London and win the AEW championship. I think it's just what makes the most sense. But great match. Will Ospreay defeats Samoa Joe. Then Swerve and Bandito went one-on-one in the Owen Hart tournament as well. This match, sleeper match. I didn't think it was going to be this good. Holy, they went out there and absolutely killed it. This match was so freaking good. Swerve had some really cool, like, Michael Jackson theme gear. Really cool, but these guys absolutely freaking killed it. Putting on an absolute great match. Swerve picks up the victory with the Vertebreaker. Absolutely insane, crazy move. The only really other person I know that uses that move modern day is Cody Rhodes. And Cody uses it obviously in WWE. AEW, Swerve uses it. He hits it on Bandito and instantly picks up the victory. Absolutely insane. Swerve stands tall with Prince Nana. Moving on to the tournament. I'm assuming Swerve and Will Ospreay are on different sides of the tournament. I honestly think this might be the finals. Swerve and Will Ospreay makes the most sense to the two biggest stars that I know of that are in the tournament. And two of the biggest guys in AEW right now. But great match by Swerve and Bandito. Was not expecting it, but damn, they freaking killed it. Then it was a fatal four-way for the women's AEW championship. It was Tekla, the champion, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Chris Statlander. This match wasn't terrible, wasn't great. It wasn't bad though. Like it was an all right match. A lot of like kind of like brawling stuff like that of all four of them going at it. Typical fatal four-way match, in my opinion, for like the women's wise. But at the end of the day, Hikaru Shida distracted. It was Chris Statlander, I believe, with her kendo stick, and led to Tekla being in the ring alone with Jamie Hayter, and then she ended up picking up the victory, retaining her women's AEW championship. And Hikaru Shida at the end of it was pissed. Chris Statlander kind of was shocked. It was an interesting ending. Tekla's a crazy looking girl. I'm not super up to date with the women's division for AEW. I was like, whoa, this girl is crazy looking. But yeah, she retains the women's AEW championship in the fatal four-way match. Then probably the most fun match of the night. It was the Stadium Stampede. It was the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, Kenny Omega, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin, and obviously Chris Jericho, the team leader, against Ricochet, the Don Callis family, Ricochet and his guys. And it was an absolute chaotic match. It was so fun, super entertaining, crazy stuff. Because they were in the tennis stadium. There was like tennis action, like with tennis balls getting launched. It was just absolutely insane. The Jurassic Express bus was crashed. Chris Jericho's team was like dressed as mobsters, so they were all in suits, while Ricochet's team were more dressed as baseball players. Because the Stadium Stampede matches are always super fun and like crazy and goofy. And they just went out there and had some crazy stuff. Kenny Omega was in a full suit, and this man was wrestling, having in like an instant classic style wrestling match, like when he was actually wrestling in a suit. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. But these guys went out there and absolutely killed it. Crazy, super fun stuff. The Young Bucks put one guy in a shopping cart with the a trash can on his head and launched him towards him and super kicked him. Chris Jericho went backstage with Ricochet and launched tennis balls at him. Then we had, what's the face? Jack Perry crashed the Jurassic Express, bus into a golf cart and a car. Andrade was trying to take a picture with all the freaking like hot girls and everything like usual, but Luchasaurus showed up with a wig. That actually made me laugh out loud. That was funny as shit. There was so much random stuff in this match, but it was so entertaining and so funny. I loved the original 2 Stadium Stampede matches during COVID, and because then they went to Anarchy in the Arena, but this was a little different. Absolutely loved it. It was great. But at the end of the day, all 7 guys on Jericho's team surrounded Ricochet in the ring. The crowd chanting "bald, bald, bald," and they hit every single finisher. There's you got the EVP trigger, knee. You got Jack Perry's finisher. You got Shelton Benjamin's finisher. You got a spear by Bobby Lashley. Jericho goes for the juice effect, and then the one Samoan guy on Ricochet's team, I forgot his name, comes in and sacrifices himself, pushes Ricochet out of the way, and then he gets absolutely murdered with all the finishing. All 7 of them hit a super kick on him, and then Jericho hits a lion salt. 1, 2, 3. Chris Jericho's whole entire team picks up the victory and defeats Ricochet's team and wins Stadium Stampede. And during this match, Jericho jumped off the top rope to go through a table, and the table didn't break. So afterwards, Jericho's pissed off, picks up that table, and does a belly flop through it, breaks it, and then did a one in the sky pointing in respect of Sabu, the late great Sabu. Really cool little moment there. But man, this match, it was so goofy and dumb, but it's so funny and entertaining at the same time. It was very enjoyable to watch. Then it was time for the main event. It was title versus hair. If MJF lost, he would have to shave his head. And then if Darby Allin lost, obviously he loses the title. He doesn't have to shave his head. Darby Allin has had the title for a month, and he's defended the title so many times that he's tied for the most title defenses. He's defended the title every single week, sometimes twice a week. He just went out there and his body's on the line. It's falling apart on him. And this match was actually a really good match. It started a little slow, but they went out there and killed it. At the beginning of the entrance on the stage, there was a table with a spotlight on it with the freaking razor, or not the electric razor, ready to go to shave MJF's head. And later in the match, they brought Darby brought MJF down to that table, put MJF on the table, and climbed on top of the freaking stage and jumped off the stage with the coffin drop through the table and busted open the back of his own head, taking out MJF with the coffin drop. And Darby was bleeding buckets because the back of his head got busted open hard way from the ledge that table was on. Then he drags MJF back down the ring, hits another coffin drop. MJF kicks out. MJF gets up, starts dominating Darby Allin, gets into the top rope, does a tombstone pile driver off the top rope, does the hip takedown that Darby Allin defeated MJF with, and MJF defeated Darby Allin before for the title. Well, MJF does the hip takedown, and 1, 2, 3, wins the AEW Championship, defeats Darby Allin. That wasn't the main reason why he won. He won because of the tombstone pile driver off the top rope. But MJF is now a 3-time AEW World Champion. What a run for Darby Allin, though. Even though it was only a little over a month, it was a great run, great matches. But MJF's back to being World Champion. And MJF celebrating, leaving, going to the stage, walking out, and then afterwards, Kevin Knight comes down the ring, kind of like to chase off MJF. And while they're stretching off Darby Allin, MJF stood on top of Darby Allin and just posed just like this. And that's when Kevin Knight came out and chased him off. And then while they're stretching him off, Kevin Knight goes to the top rope and jumps off and splashes onto Darby Allin, taking out Darby Allin, turning heel on him. And Kevin Knight currently right now is the TNT champion. Still an up-and-coming star if you don't know who he is. But yeah, he turns heel on Darby Allin. It was kind of random, but MJF continues to celebrate. He's smiling. He's like, whatever. I don't care. I'm the AEW champion. And that's what they end the show with. It was that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't personally like it, but I love that MJF is AEW champion. I love MJF. Very entertaining. But this show was great. At the beginning of the show, Mick Foley on the pre-show signed with AEW. He's all elite. Absolutely insane. Had a moment with Darby Allin saying bang bang. MJF came out and kicked him in the balls. But yeah, this show was so entertaining, so fun to watch. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This was a great show. I'm like, this one show is better than anything WWE's done the whole entire year. So I really, really enjoyed it. My favorite match of the night was Adam Copeland and Christian Cage winning the tag titles. Also, Stadium Stampede was super fun. I'm like, all the matches were great. The women's matches weren't bad, but for sure the weakest matches of the night were the 2 women's matches. But all the matches were great. Really enjoyed the show. 9 out of 10 for AEW Double or Nothing 2026. Drop down in the comments below if you want me to continue to do setups of AEW. I really enjoyed the show, so that's why I did a setup review. This is Jeremy Live. Make sure to like and follow, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell because we post every single day on this YouTube channel, and you don't want to miss out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.